UFC Fight Night, Lemos versus Jandiroba. Most confident picks at the top, least confident picks at the bottom. If you can't see, maybe get some glasses. But the bolded fighters like Trey Ogden, Muhammad Usman, Verna Jandiroba. It's a hard name to pronounce if you want to pronounce it correctly. But all the bolded fighters are who I have winning for this amazing UFC Fight Night. Yeah, it is a good card. I'm lying through my teeth right now, but there's some fun fights. There is definitely some fun fights on the card. We're going to start with the bottom with Muhammad Usman, make our way to the top with Verna Jandiroba, and give our percentage chance I think every single fighter does have to actually win come July 20th. First fight we do have is Muhammad Usman, the brother of Kamaru Usman, who's on a 3-fight losing streak. Usman is on a 1-fight, I don't know if that's a losing streak, but he's coming off a loss. So is Thomas Peterson. Thomas is the wrestler. Usman is more the striker, but he's really not that good of a striker. But it's heavyweight MMA, and Thomas Peterson is also not that good of a striker. So I got Usman winning this one. I mean, he's just a better striker than Thomas Peterson. Thomas is just that bad on the feet, in my opinion. The only way Peterson does win this one is if he's able to get that takedown early and work on the gas tank of Usman. I just personally don't think Thomas will be able to do so. There's a chance. It's heavyweight MMA. Maybe Peterson's striking has improved a lot. So again, I mean, you can't be too confident at all with a heavyweight MMA because maybe Peterson has improved a lot. Maybe he goes out there and starches Muhammad Usman, and maybe he's able to land the takedown. But I think Usman defends and keeps that on the feet. I feel fairly good about Luana Carolina for like no reason other than, I mean, stylistically, it's kind of perfect for her. She's kind of proven to do really, really good against fighters like Lucy Pudilova, defend the takedowns and outstrike them. So I weirdly feel very good about Luana Carolina as like a 2-1 favorite to beat Lucy Pudilova this weekend. Luana Carolina is a much better striker. She's shown great takedown defense in her fight with Lupe Godinez and a few other fights that she's had against wrestlers and grapplers inside of the UFC's flyweight division. Let's go on and check her last few fights. Julia Soliarenko, very good grappler. She was able to defend that, and obviously she's got good striking. She got caught in the Molly McCann fight, and I believe got a little bit robbed in the Joanne Wood fight. I do believe she should be on a 3-fight win streak and should be 5-1 in her last 6 fights. So technically, in my opinion, she should be 6-2 in the UFC. That's very, very good, and a win here over Lucy Pudilova could definitely get her in the rankings. Trey Ogden against Louis Gradzabov. You know, I think this is a dog pick still. Maybe the odds have swayed in the favor of Trey Ogden, but this is a pick'em. It's been a dog for Trey Ogden. Louis Gradzabov's been the dog. The odds are going all over the place for this fight, but I do have Trey Ogden. I predicted him when he was the dog. I'll predict him no matter what the odds are. I believe he's technically better everywhere. I mean, there's not a facet of this fight. Grappling, jiu-jitsu, striking. I know I said grappling and jiu-jitsu in the same freaking thing. Grappling, wrestling, striking, kicking, punching. I think Trey Ogden is better technically in all of those avenues, but in terms of like who's got the better finishing ability, who's got the better like just one punch craziness that can just change the fight at any moment, I think that's Louis Gradzabov 100%. So no, I'm not going to be confident in Trey Ogden to win this fight, although I do have him winning a nice technical close decision here. It's going to be more than Muhammad Usman, but definitely less than Luana Carolina. So we're going to put him right in between the two we just previously did, and let's go 55%. Miranda Maverick, going to be my most confident pick so far on this UFC fight. Now I'm going to have Miranda Maverick at 70%. I'm feeling very, very good about Miranda Maverick. I personally do believe she's slightly better in a lot of aspects here. I think everywhere she might be just a little bit better. I was thinking about, I mean, judo, obviously, Deonia Barbosa has a background in that, but in terms of pure wrestling, in terms of pure grappling, pure striking, kicking, all of that, I think Miranda Maverick is better. She is more experienced. She is younger, had a lot of fights with high-level girls in the UFC. In my opinion, beat Macy Barber when they fought. So I think Miranda's top 10 level in this UFC flyweight division, and Deonia Barbosa is taking it on short notice. I feel pretty good about Miranda. That is going to be my first confident pick. Anything over 70% is confident. I am confident on Moran the Maverick. So if you're wondering if there's any bias with my predictions, I had an interview. My first ever MMA or UFC fighter interview was with Deonia Barbosa, and I'm going to pick against her. So there's no bias when it comes to my interviews. I also interviewed Steve Garcia, who we're going to have coming up. So there's no bias when it comes to my interviews, as I'm picking pretty heavily against a fighter that I did interview. The next fight we do have is Cody Gibson against Brian Kelleher. This one's going to be in between Trey Ogden and Luana Carolinas. Not a confident pick like Moran the Maverick. And it's not really like, you know, I kind of see it stylistically really, really good like I do for Luana Carolina. I believe the ability of Brian to go out there and get a finish than Lucy Pudilova is going to be a lot higher. So I think it's going to be a lot closer. I have Cody Gibson at 60%. And what should be a clear-cut decision win for Cody Gibson, but there or a knockout win, like I said in my prediction video, could be a clear decision. He could catch Brian coming in, but that's what I mean. It's going to come down to if Brian does put on crazy pressure, maybe he doesn't get clipped and he's able to use that pressure and big power shots to win, or maybe Cody knocks him out because he does that. But it's going to come down to how Brian goes out there. If he really puts on pressure and throws bombs, this could be a really, really close fight. And maybe Cody knocks him out. Maybe Brian knocks him out. I mean, it's one of those. It could definitely go either way. But, I mean, if there is not that pressure, if there is not that will to go out there and get the knockout from Brian, it's going to be a clear decision from Cody Gibson, in my opinion. Jung Yong Lee. A lot of guys with the last, or the surname Lee. I'm just kidding. Jung Yong. That's what I was trying to say. 2 fighters on this card with the first 2 names Jung Yong, but technically his first name is Ji Yong when Jun Yong Park is just Jun. So I messed up that whole conversation, that whole little point I was trying to make, but whatever. I do have him winning the fight in the featherweight division, but Hyder Mill's a dog. I saw someone comment, yeah, great analysis on that prediction, but you made the wrong prediction. You should go Hyder Mill. And, you know, it's definitely in the 50% for me. I have him at a little bit more than Trey Ogden at 56%. I believe technically, just like what was the other fight? The Cody Gibson fight. Technically, I believe Jung Yong Lee is going to be better everywhere. Or no. Just like the Trey Ogden fight. My bad. I believe Jung Yong Lee is going to be better than Hyder Ramil everywhere. I kind of see Trey Ogden and Jung Yong Lee matchups in my view on them being pretty similar in that Trey and Jung are both better everywhere, in my opinion. But Hyder Ramil and Loic had that X factor of power and cardio and heart and craziness. I'm not saying Trey and Lee don't have heart. I'm saying there's an abundance of it with Hyder Ramil, an abundance of power with Loic Radzhabov. So only 50% for Jung Yong Lee. Bill Algeo taking on Doo Ho Choi. Yeah, mainly because Bill Algeo's coming off a knockout loss, and Doo Ho Choi just has so many knockout wins on his record. I can't be too confident here. I'm going to go 53%. For Bill Algeo, I think he's technically better everywhere on the feet when it comes to the striking. I think he's going to land more volume, put on some pressure. But I just can't help think that Doo Ho Choi might catch him coming in with some power. Bill's coming off a knockout loss. So you can never put this guy in the 60-70% coming off a knockout loss like he just did. It wasn't a bad knockout loss, but it proves he can be knocked out. And, you know, fighting a guy like Doo Ho Choi, like I said, it's a little iffy for me to have him super confident. Cody Durden, another very, very close fight on this card. Is honestly one of my closest fights of this UFC fight night, and I'm going to have it as such at 51%. I'm just really shocked on, I don't know what the odds were, but I believe Cody was a pretty good favorite. And I could be wrong. I'm going to check it just really quickly right now. Because I do believe he's like minus 200, but I could be just totally blanking on what I'm remembering here. Let's see. Minus one, never mind. I'm speaking out of my booty hole right now. But yeah, he's minus 120 just as I would kind of have it. I think it is a 50-50 pickup fight. My closest fight of the card, 51%. Leaning towards Cody Durden to get the win here. I believe cardio, he's going to be better. Wrestling is going to be better. Pressure is going to be better. Volume is going to be better. But Bruno's going to have that power, just like Loic Radzhabov is going to have his against Trey Ogden. But Bruno's got great takedown defense, and I think stylistically is a very, very bad matchup for Cody, but I still barely lead Cody to get the win. It's just that style matchup of Bruno having good takedown defense and good power in his hands could make this really, really close. So 29-28 split decision either way would not surprise me in the slightest. Kurt Holobaugh taking on Kenan Kroshuski, and I'm going to be honest, it's going to be lower than Cody Durden. This is another dog pick on the card for Kurt Holobaugh to get the win. I just believe, I think he could land some takedowns and control that on the feet and just make it a technical striking fight on the feet as well. Not get hit with big shots, mix in those takedowns and win a close one. But again, if he's not mixing in those takedowns and he's getting hit with the bigger shots, Kenan can definitely win. So we're going to literally have this one as much less as we can for Cody Durden at 50.5%. Literally pretty much the definition of a pick'em right there. Steve Garcia, we're going to have even more than Miranda Maverick. This is the most confident pick of the card. Again, I've interviewed Steve Garcia in the past, but even without the interview, I would have had the same thoughts about the matchup. His pressure, his volume, his pace, his cardio is just so good. I don't think he gets Sung Woo Choi out of there in round one. I think he knocks down Sung Woo Choi in round number one, but I think in round number two, that pressure, that volume, that pace is just going to be too much, and I think Steve Garcia is going to land some good body shots like he did with Shai Lundner, Don Biek. Get the fight to the ground. Boom. Ground and pound, ground and pound, ground and pound. Bloody. And we got another Steve Garcia TKO. 4 knockouts in a row. And I feel very good about Steve Garcia getting the win there. We got Jin Young Park next in the middleweight division. This is interesting. I would say, yeah, it's got to be less than 55%. We're going to go 54% for Jin Young Park to get the win here, mainly because of Brad Tavares' takedown defense. It just is so good. And he's built a name off of defending takedowns and just outstriking guys. He's very, very good at that. Jin Young Park's game plan is obviously to pressure you, to get the takedown and submit you with a rear naked or ground and pound you and just keep on punching, put it on that pace. And I do think he will be successful in round 2, in round 3, and possibly get a finish in one of those rounds. But again, Tavares is a hard stylistic matchup for any of these wrestlers and grapplers, so very close fight, only 54%. And Verna Jandiroba, we're going to have her right around that Miranda Maverick range. We're going to do 69% for Verna Jandiroba to get the win. I believe, watching the Lemos Zhang Weili fight, Verna's got the perfect style to go out there, take her down, and just dominate the fight on the ground. I don't know why I'm so confident on Jandiroba. I just believe she will get those takedowns, will dominate it there, will get the finish, or will dominate and get a 49-46, 50-45 type decision. And yeah, those are the confident picks for this weekend. We have, what would it be? 3, 4. We have 7 pick'em type fights that literally could go either way. We have 3 almost confident picks in Cody Gibson, in Luana Carolina, and in Verna Jandiroba. And then 2 confident picks, Miranda Maverick, Steve Garcia. I feel confident about those 2. Make sure to like and subscribe. Check the pinned comment or the link in the description down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. That's about it for you.